let's all breathe and let's all start again. Good
She's
morning,
stuck.
everybody. Welcome to our Thursday edition of Title Talk. This is our New Year's Eve special edition, and we have lots of special friends running around the floor, and we have a special guest here joining us today to talk to us about some of the things that go on in the banking world and the banking industry, and the title company's affiliation with the bank and what that looks like and why that's important. So
It works, Courtney said. Thanks, Court.
that's great.
Do I sound like a man?
I'm glad to hear that the sound is on. And again, we are Inspired Title. My name is Drew.
And my name is Amy.
And why don't you take a minute to introduce our fabulous guest?
Sure. Everybody, my mom is with us today.
Is so cool.
This is my mom, Roseanne. I didn't give you a title the first time through, so maybe it was good that the volume wasn't working. She is in risk management and the compliance department in her bank, which are a lot of really big words that I didn't really put two and two together until Christmas, actually. When we started our Thanksgiving. We had a nice talk about it, so that's her.
And she's going incognito today because
She
she didn't get the clearance from the tower.
Don't put the quotes.
Clearance from the tower.
Following rules. It's important to some people. So yeah, she
Not in 2020, it's not. Come on, I mean, give me a break.
All rules out the window.
Yeah, absolutely.
So she just works in a bank.
A bank. Any
bank.
bank, pick a bank, you might find
You
it.
don't know the name of it still, so it's
Right,
fine.
absolutely. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about you a second time, this way they can hear us.
Okay, sounds great. So as Amy said, I work in risk management and compliance, and my major role is bank secrecy compliance. What I do is I look at the activity of our customers and their accounts, and I have to file specific reports based on that activity, whether it's dollar transactions that exceed, for cash deposits that exceed a certain amount, or suspicious transactions.
Nice.
And it's an important part in banking because when our bank is audited by our examiners for our safety and soundness audit, the bank secrecy has to get a good review because it could affect the bank's overall condition.
Right. And when did this all start? Wasn't this?
It kind of started in the 70s. Well, OFAC started in the 50s, probably
Yeah.
with Cuba,
Yeah.
where the United States they created a list of sanctioned countries and customers
Right.
that you weren't allowed to do business with. So anytime you guys send a wire, your bank has or receive one.
Yep.
Your bank has to make sure that it's not a sanctioned individual.
Yep.
Because they would have to block the transaction.
Absolutely.
And then it went into the drugs in the 70s, the anti-money laundering.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it was 9/11,
Yeah,
when
the
the U.S.
9/11
Patriot Act was established, so that the banks had to identify individuals to try to stop terrorist financing.
Wow.
So it goes through like these waves. I think like every time there's a big like trend that changes,
Yeah.
it goes through these waves, and you guys kind of
You have to adapt.
have to adapt to it. Yeah.
Wow. That's I think we have experienced, obviously, after 9/11, a change in our industry, which obviously being a financial institution as a title company, I mean, there are a lot of different things that we had to make changes on. And why don't you talk about some of those bank changes that maybe you guys went through?
Well, we have to, the big thing now is 314A requests, where we have to search our customer records every 2 weeks. And it's a huge database that law enforcement uses to try to track down individuals that have transactional accounts and, maybe loans and stuff. So we have to report that back within 2 weeks, and then sometimes we'll receive a subpoena. And where we have to actually produce bank records for these individuals. So they're supposed to stop, financing too if they think people, maybe doing suspicious things.
Wow.
So when you started as a teller, did you ever think that your job would
No,
kind of lead you this way?
No, and thank goodness,
It's cool though. Like it's
Yeah.
you just kind of followed the path.
It's exactly yours. I mean, you started here and didn't think that you were going to evolve to where you are.
I cried for a week straight.
Well, there's still days that you do cry.
I think it's been a couple months since I've cried here. I've been trying to pull it together, and I think it was because of COVID, not because of you this time.
Right. Good. Why don't we go into our question and answer
I don't even know what's
segment
happening.
of,
Didn't we just do our question
of
and
our
answer
title talk?
segment?
No, we didn't. We kind of just talked about stories and a little bit of background, and maybe you can just
I
kind of
hope you
pump on your
have.
lap.
I hope you have a free 4 hours. This is gonna go a while, guys. Okay, so I'm just going to risk management and compliance.
Yeah.
We kind of talked about it
Yeah,
already.
we talked about it a little bit.
Okay, so that's a lot of words. What does it mean? What do
It
you
means that
do?
we try to manage the risks for the bank, and keep the bank in compliance and all the state, national laws that we have. Yeah, we have a bunch of policies that have to be evaluated every year. We have exams. We have reports. So yeah, it's just making sure the bank stays on track with the loan portfolios.
Are you examined once a year? How frequently is it?
We're usually
Like
like an 18-month rotation
Okay, yeah,
based on
that's
the
exactly
asset
what we
size.
are.
That's her favorite every 18 months.
It's the worst.
They're on my desk.
We can go out and have a drink on those days.
Yeah, right? Because
That's hellacious.
guess what they did? I don't want to know what they did, Mom.
I lose.
Sorry, I
yes,
woke you up.
The audit weeks are traumatizing.
And we haven't had one in.
Shh.
I
They
did-
listen.
We were supposed to have one during the beginning
Who
of the.
are you?
I did find
Apparently
see
not
an
one
interesting.
Make up your mind. Dave. No interruptions, Dave. There it is.
I noticed a big difference
gonna
between
roll away.
working for a smaller bank and a bigger bank. In that, with the larger banks, they can't scrutinize as much.
Yeah, that's so true.
It is a little less stressful, I think.
That is true. We're being a smaller title company. I mean, they're in my back pocket.
Yeah.
Whereas the larger title companies, it's
Kind of just.
kind of a breeze. They kind of
Yeah.
breeze through it and they shuffle some papers. But I hopefully we can build to a volume that we're a little bit bigger. That it's kind of and we have a history that has been good. Knock on wood that they're not looking for any issues because we've been clean and good.
Yeah.
And I continue to pride myself in that. I don't want to have any audit or any issues. I don't want to have any claims. That's kind of the key to what we do here. So
And they're looking for like systemic problems.
yes.
Where there's just lack of regard for things, or if they've made a recommendation the year before,
Right.
to see that you followed up on it and
Right.
improved your policies and everything. So I think that's the big thing.
That is.
Yeah, I
that
was
is
gonna say that's
very-
actually one of the, as crappy as they are, and I always learn something from them,
Definitely.
and we have stuff in place from our last audit that I'm still glad we're doing because it makes the job longer and a little more tedious, but in the grand scheme of things, it definitely helps it out.
And it gives us also some bargaining to our clients to say, boy, we'd really like to help you there, but we can't because our auditors or our underwriters said, and it puts the onus on them.
Yeah.
And it's now not us being the bad guy, or it's not our policy, it's the policy of, our underwriters and things, so.
Now, how was your year compared to last year in terms of how many closings you did?
Remarkable,
Crazy.
remarkable. Yeah, we probably, what was our number? We were almost 800?
We're almost at 8.
So-
Closing's probably around 7.
Yeah, so we 3 times our
Wow.
last year's. Yeah, I mean,
So when I was calling you and saying, "Mom, my fingers are gonna fall off of doing," I was for real. Like
the
it
growth
was.
was triple, and I'm proud of that, and it's I couldn't have done it without the team that I have here, but it was a lot of hard work, and I think there was a lot of nuances that came with it. I think Amy and I learned a lot of things in doing this, and I know she grew tremendously this year because of it, and I've given her a lot more responsibility and a lot more thoughts and ideas of where it's going to go next year and how it's going to go, and whether she's ready for it or not, we'll see.
And now
But-
you have that new magic software that's going
Oh.
to
Oh,
cut
I
everybody's
know.
work in half
In
or
half,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, she's heard about it. This is how excited I am about our
You
new
talk a lot about
software.
work, don't you?
I do. I love what
That's
I
good.
do. I'm proud of what I do, and
That's good.
it's cool to be able to have something.
And if you
to
get
talk
some
about.
software that can automate some things and
Yeah.
make things more
We
efficient.
can get rid of a few people.
Yeah, or at least not increase.
Or
Or just
get-
make those work harder. Those people you have work harder.
Yeah, no, it's been it's been a really.
I think that's something that as a business owner, I think that's something that's super important to me is to reinvest back into the business to help the team grow and give them the tools that they need to succeed. That's always the common thing that I hear is, I need this, or boy, if I had this, it'd be great, or if we could just do this. So I listen to those things, and then I try to apply them to, are they realistic things that, they're realistic asks, and then if I'm able to accomplish those things, like this software rollout,
Yeah.
it is going to be a nightmare. I mean, it
always
is going to be a
Yes, it's gonna
huge
be.
nightmare.
But you have to look past it.
And that's exactly it. It's just going, you know what?
Team, are you listening?
It's kind of like I told my kids when they were younger. I'm going, 4 years of college, a little bit of pain in the rear end now versus the success of later.
Yeah.
It's just, I'll take this pain now while I can for the successes later.
And you just have to
You
be
know?
open to learning new things and not look back and be like,
People
do,
listen to this.
I know.
do
I'm
things the
telling
old
you.
way,
Yeah.
sometimes change is good and you have to just be open.
Yeah, I
Take
think-
notes, do what you
Right.
need to do to learn
Take
it.
notes.
Take notes, be organized. What a novel idea.
Print screenshots.
Yeah, what a great idea. Now I see where you get it from.
See?
Uh-huh.
It makes sense now. You're
Yes,
getting
it
it
does.
now.
Yes, it
You're getting
does.
Amy now.
I just don't like asking the same question more than once if I can help it.
No.
I'd rather have it somewhere where I can look it up myself.
I did that to Drew this morning. I'm like, I know I've asked you this,
But I-
but every time it comes up, I have to I re-ask myself.
Because there's a lot of risk involved in it.
There is.
It's not like you're asking a question that is not going to cost any money.
Right.
That, if we make mistakes on things, I mean, there's a lot of liability out there. And
Right.
the attorneys out there that are partnering with us and acting as attorney agents, they're leaning on us pretty heavily to do the things that they need to do.
Right.
And I know that the onus is going to fall on them if there's an issue, but they're leaning to us for the knowledge because it's what we do. So
I think that's been one of the best parts about us starting to move into Indiana.
Love it.
Because we have a lot more responsibility there as a title company. Like in Illinois, it's either an attorney clearing title or it's not really the title company's job to do it as an attorney agent or an attorney. And in Indiana, it kind of all falls on us to clear title and
For
make
sure.
sure everything's okay. And
Oh, so it is quite different.
it is, yeah. It made me it's honestly made me reevaluate doing titles in Illinois even more because I should know the answers to this and because I'm doing it in Indiana. So I don't clear title in Illinois, but it kind of makes me think about things differently. But yeah, it
How
was
many closings have you had in Indiana?
probably 30 maybe.
I would say, between
50?
30 and 50, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Good
it's-
start.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I think we're starting to get some traction out there.
Yeah.
I do see 2021 us growing that number pretty substantially because of our partnerships out there that we have been really working hard on. But being a regulated state, it's different.
Yeah.
I mean,
It is a complete,
the cost of everything is regulated. There's not a lot of fudge room. The price is the price. It's not like
And that-
you're able to shift the finances around.
Which is a cool thing because people are kind of paying for the title company then.
Mhm.
Whereas in Illinois, I feel like clients can shop around to see where they can get the cheapest rates because it's not regulated. So it
Right.
means they have they have the rate cards that they suggest you pay, but then we hear title companies that are doing it for a third of the price.
Right.
So we'll let clients say, why are your costs so high? It's off the rate card. It's not high.
Yeah.
Well, we can go so it's a lot bigger of a battle. But in Indiana, it's strictly based on learning getting to know the
fees.
company and relationships and all that.
Earning
so.
customers is very difficult to do in Illinois because attorneys have their favorites. They have their family, their friends, their people that they work with. And my sister works here, my brother works there. Or I've got
Everyone knows
allegiance
someone
to these
somewhere.
folks. So it's really difficult to earn somebody's business in Illinois. So when we do get new clients and new customers in Illinois, it's such a blessing because I now want to nurture them and really grow to become more than just a client with them. I want to become more of a friend and
Right.
really work hard together to accomplish the same goal. In Indiana, I think we've taken that model into Indiana and started to show it start there because there are no attorneys that are really engaging in this.
Yeah.
And they don't need the attorney, so we're doing it all. So now it's just customer service. So now
Right.
it's about our team and
How quickly-
Amy's efficiency on how quickly she turns these things around, and the correctness of them all, and the strength of them. I think that all of that matters a lot. So that really does play a really integral part in kind of our growth and where we're going with it. So. Yeah, I'm excited about what 2021 is going to bring.
It'll be.
I think 2020 has been remarkable.
Yeah.
I mean, the learning curve has been huge. I mean, we adapted quickly to things that we needed to, like banks, and we had to do a lot of change, and we had to do it quickly. It was
Yeah.
overnight.
It was.
Then we were deemed essential, and the moment we were deemed essential, we kind of all looked at each other and said, what does that mean?
Right.
And how do we operate?
And you were too. And being so, it's lucky that
Yeah.
we were both able to stay in that situation of being essential. And
Right.
like you said, what does that mean? How?
Right.
What is? And we
we're
didn't
blessed to work
know.
all year long.
They were talking about closings that weren't going to happen in person for a while and everything.
Still-
You never really had to get to that too much, did you?
So we actually started it. We were doing classes on it actually, but banks still want wet signatures in person.
Yep, and then
Like,
with mortgage.
even the whole Zoom thing, like, it wasn't even thought about. We did do curbside closings, so that's like the thing that we kind of changed. So like,
How many of those did you do? Just when people requested it, was it?
yeah, people like it'll be a special request, and like we had 4 cars out in our parking lot where like John was running from like clipboard to clipboard, mask on, going back inside. So we kind of adapted to any way any people requested it. It's still little. We get them once in a while, but it's not as much as. And then like I didn't even know what real estate was going to be when this pandemic started. Like. When they said we were essential, I was like, great, but we're not gonna have anything to do. Like,
Right.
I'm glad that we have a job, but
And now
Right.
people realize they want a bigger house
Right.
because
I'm sick of staring at
Yeah.
these 4 walls.
They're
like,
refinancing
they're-
because the interest rates went into the basement.
Yeah, refinancing has been so insane.
Unbelievable.
I've done more refis in the last like 4 months than I did the entire 5 years starting. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's been insane.
Yeah, and I think it's a good time to do it with interest rates being 3% and
We have people. If you need
Yeah.
a lender, we got people.
we've definitely got several connections in the business to help you guys out. We can definitely help you guys out in many different aspects of the business. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you for joining us and
They were so good for an hour. They almost made it.
our final title talk of 2020. Be sure to join us into the new year of 2021 when we've got a lot of fun things coming up and a lot of different information, guests, knowledge, fun to
Maybe
bring
we
you
get
guys.
Floyd on here.
Maybe
Nope,
he
he's
can't.
shaking his head
Shakes
no.
no.
We had an in-studio guest. Floyd was here and politely watching the dogs.
We
but-
thank him for that, keeping the dogs kind of calmed and down. And Roseanne, thanks for
Thank you
coming
so
out
much
and
for
Thanks for
coming.
joining us and
It was
sharing us
awesome.
and all the knowledge and fun and wisdom. And what do you got to end the conversation here for 2020?
I ready for 2021. 2020 was a great year, and it was a crappy year at the
Yeah.
same time. Got married, we were busy,
You said crappy and then you followed it up with those words. Interesting.
no,
Interesting.
but I'm saying like it
Some
would-
good things came
Uh-huh.
out.
some good things did come out of it. But I'm ready to see what 2021 has to bring. I'm optimistic.
Absolutely.
Not too much pressure for 2021.
No, it's not.
It's honestly anything. I'm not going to say anything,
No.
but yes, I am excited for a new start.
Yep.
You saw Ryan's face on Ryan, you just marked your face on the banner.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Drew with Inspired Title.
And my name is Amy with
We'd
Inspired
like to
Title.
thank you guys for joining us and Happy New Year to
Happy
you
New Year.
and yours. And we'd like to wish you guys a happy holiday, safe season. See you guys again next year. And we'd like to thank the Pugs for being here. Remember, with Inspired Title, it's the beginning of, well, we're actually the title company.
You are just,
I
you were
got
you were
dogs,
taking
I
my
know, I
tagline.
got dogs.
He was taking my
We're the
dog. He's
title
still
company
fun.
that cares. We're the dogs that are here.
They were so good until they saw your face, Ryan, and they started to bark at your face on that
It
picture.
happens. It happens. Take care, everybody, and
Bye.
we'll see you next year.
Happy New
Bye-bye.
Year.